this shit knock and roll.
I'm Angela, and this is
Natalie,
and we met on Instagram through our ACL endeavors. So now we're together, and we're gonna go over a little bit about what happened with her ACL, how she tore it, what her mindset was during it, what kind of surgery she had, and hopefully it will help you if you're going through a similar process.
I am a therapist. I work with little kids who have developmental delays, and I do behavioral therapy with them. They're usually like 2 to 5 years old. Yeah.
Wow.
Which obviously has nothing to do with how I tore my ACL. So I am pretty much a fitness enthusiast, I guess you could say. I was a Division I athlete in college. Like sport has been part of my life. And I was at the gym training, and I did a broad jump, and I landed not well. My leg kind of went like in and then back out, and that was the end of the story kind of thing.
Yeah, and you landed, did you know, were you like, there's something clearly wrong with me?
So, yeah, as I was saying, immediately I knew. I was like, there's something wrong. Like, I kind of crawled over to the side of the gym, and I was like, there's something wrong. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew there was something wrong. And then I did try to stand up and couldn't stand up because I actually tore my MCL, I think, which is why you can't stand.
What was the next process in you deciding what you were going to use for your ACL?
So I actually I went to the one surgeon who I knew. I actually had this really weird thing happen years ago where my leg kind of blew up, kind of like compartment syndrome. And so I had gone to this doctor, and he works with a lot of dancers and blah, blah, blah. But this was before I had done research. So then I started so I saw him on a Friday in the morning. I went to visit my family in Florida for the week, and I kept researching, and I ended up finding a different surgeon than the one I had originally gone to. But they both kind of said to use the same part of my body. So I used my hamstring. I guess you used your patella.
I used my patella, and then on this knee I used the cadaver. So we got all sorts of ACL that works.
So they had both said that was what to use, so I kind of was like, okay, I guess they know what they're talking about. I mean, I think they supposedly say it depends on your age, the types of activities you're doing.
Absolutely.
And this, that, and the other. So I guess the cadaver in younger people is not necessarily as good, although you seem fine.
So I guess, what I've heard is that younger, the cadaver is good. But you have to be 18 or younger.
Right.
Then a cadaver would normally work. But lately there's been a 20% failure rate on the cadaver. So if you're going back into what we're going into, you kind of don't want that because you don't want. But if you're maybe a little older population and you're you don't want to have to deal with using your own, and you just need to walk and do the normal, then you probably could use the cadaver. But then patella is supposed to be strong, they said, for athletes.
Well, the patella, though, they say is definitely the strongest. But
I think that's the strongest,
I don't know what, I guess there's probably lots of different reasons why they use different things. For different sports, the doctor, I actually went the other day, and, for follow-ups, and they were saying some guy used part of his quad.
Yeah, they used to do the quad,
So, because for some reason, he didn't want to use the patella. I don't know why. But, so far, so good. I mean, it definitely, when I started doing activities, even if I just tried to do abs, core work, my hamstring really hurt at the beginning.
Gotcha.
Obviously, it's, compromised and missing a piece and needed to heal also, so.
Yeah. How was that process? So you, so you obviously went in. Did you do prehab?
So I did. Yeah, I did prehab. Did you also did?
I did a ton of prehab.
Yeah, I couldn't bend and or straighten all the way before my surgery, and I guess if you go into surgery not being able to have that movement, then you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
And also, they kind of wanted to see if my MCL would heal up a little bit on its own before the surgery. So I had a month of prehab to get my mobility back, and then I had surgery. So I went in at I was the first patient. I kind of wanted to be the first patient.
Yeah.
I knew that I've had other surgeries, and I knew my experience coming out of the drugs and everything was not ideal. So I went in at I think my surgery started at 7 in the morning, and I think it took 4 hours.
That seems like about right, yeah.
And I came out, and so I couldn't have a nerve block, which
I had, yeah. I went having a nerve block.
Yeah, which, I mean, I don't know what's better, because I've obviously had the one.
Yeah, and I think it, with all this, it depends on who you are. So, all surgeons do it differently. We're not saying anything is, the right way or the wrong way, but these are, totally different experiences. Yeah.
And my surgeon typically does do the nerve block, but because I had a neurofibroma tumor, which compromises your nerves, I wasn't able to have it. Anyway, so coming out of the surgery was pretty awful for me. I was very, very nauseous. I think they pumped a lot of painkillers into the IV since I didn't have the nerve block, which I guess prevented me from being in all sorts of pain, but I was super, super nauseous, throwing up. I know that sounds pretty awful, but many times before I left the hospital, after I left the hospital, and even the next day.
Yeah, which is very common with the drugs. A lot of people don't react very well to taking any kind of painkiller, depending on who you are. I know they make you feel super weird. Obviously, there's the whole thing of people getting addicted to them. There's so many ups and downs with it. But if you are doing it the right way, and you kind of need them at first, you kind of got to get through it.
And honestly, I could never get addicted.
Get this out of me.
Yeah. I mean, maybe certain people are more sensitive, obviously, to things I'm sure you eat pretty clean.
So sensitive to whatever I take. A little bit of caffeine, I'm off the wall, a little bit. So I definitely can relate to that. So you had the surgery. Obviously, you were getting sick on the medicine, stuff like that. So when you went back, do you remember how long it took you to walk again, or?
Oh my gosh. Till I walked without crutches.
Yeah, was it you went in and you walked with one crutch that week? Or
no, it took me a while to get off the 2 crutches. I don't know if it's because the MCL. I also had part of my meniscus was a little bit torn.
So lots of stuff in there.
Yeah, lots of stuff going on. I also was nervous to, I didn't want to mess it up. Granted, you're wearing this big brace, but my knee was 4 sizes than it should have been, and so I probably was more cautious than I a little bit needed to be. But I started with physical therapy day 3 after surgery, which kind of was a little bit of a joke that first couple of days because I was still so out of it. Nothing. We didn't really get much done.
Yeah.
I think it was good for me to get out of the house.
Now, this is going to be a silly question, but now I just thought of it.
Yeah.
I know from my past surgery and this surgery, one of the hardest things for me was going to the bathroom because I literally, I couldn't hold my leg up, so I literally was peeing holding my brace. That's on me.
Yeah, so I live in New York City, and as you know, there's not a ton of space, so I have a little stool, and I actually left it in the bathroom so that I could lift my leg and put it on the toilet or on the thing while I was sitting. But this is actually a funny peeing story I have to share because I was still in the brace. I was able to walk at this point. I don't think I was on crutches. Yeah, I wasn't on crutches, but I had the brace on, and we went to a baseball game of my boyfriend's son, and there were only porta potties.
Oh no.
And they were very, very disgusting. And I was there's no, you can't sit down. You cannot sit in there. There's no way.
Yeah.
So there was a handicap one, and I can't believe I'm telling the story. So I made him go in with me, and there was enough space on the side of the toilet, so I essentially did a pistol squat on the side, on top of the toilet.
I mean, it sounds so crazy, but it's these are things that if you're gonna get your ACL, this is gonna happen to you. You are essentially pistol squatting everything.
Yeah.
You get that
It's gonna be real strong.
You're gonna pistol squat. You're gonna do this, and it's gonna be hard to lift it up. So that's super funny. So I always when I did it the first time, I just remember being oh no, I gotta go to the bathroom. Oh no. I'm I don't know what to do.
It's funny. Yeah. Same thing. Showering. Did you shower?
So I personally brought the crutch in the shower with me.
You did.
I wrapped my whole entire leg in the garbage bag, which I took a picture of because it was hysterical. I just was stuffing the thing around it. And then I literally had the crutch in there. I'm one crutch. I made sure my mom was around. The door was open. I dropped the crutch at one point. My mom was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Oh no, I don't want to get the crutch." So,
what did I do? Oh, the first couple times I showered, I didn't shower. I used the bath water as the shower,
gotcha.
And I laid in the tub with the surgery legs sticking out so it wouldn't get wet. So I was like, I can't deal with wrapping it up and all that. And I kind of shower. So
I mean, it's all these ridiculous things, but it's the truth with it. So let's go into a little bit less with the physical stuff. So with your mind, I feel like that's the biggest thing out of all of this. You go from being this awesome, athletic person doing all this stuff, jumping, whatever, to essentially nothing. So how did that affect you?
It was pretty awful, actually. Mentally, was probably the worst part. The first. So when it happened, before I had surgery, I was just upset because I knew I wasn't able to do anything, and it was pretty devastating. And then after the surgery, I feel it was even worse because you're supposed to be getting better and you don't feel good, you don't sleep well, you're drained. There's all these things that are happening that would make you kind of unhappy to begin with, and then you expect to be progressing at a certain rate, and I'm used to or anyone who is active like this probably is used to working out and doing everything hard, and then you see the results. And even if I'd go to therapy and I'd be getting this shit essentially beat out of me in therapy, pushing my leg, pulling it, and it would be so painful. And we would measure, and there wouldn't be anything different. And I definitely cried many times. It was really, really hard. It still is not easy. I'm 3 and change months out of surgery, and I'm not able to do nearly anything. I can't go running. I asked my therapist everything, can I run? Can I run? Not that I even enjoy going outside for a long run, but I feel you realize you can't do so many things.
And then you really want to do it. You're before I used to say I hated running, but now it's shit, I really want to run.
I can't do a back squat. I can't do, I can't. You use your legs for everything. Even walking down the stairs. I'm walking now without a brace, and walking down the stairs is still really hard.
Yeah, because it's that bend, trying to get up.
Yeah, my muscle strength is really weak. I did this test, I can't remember the name of the machine. You may have not used it yet.
Yeah.
But they it essentially it measures your flexion and extension, and my right leg that had the surgery is half the strength of the other one.
Wow, and you're 3 months. So she's right now 3 months out. I'm I went on June 12th, so I'm a little bit over a month or so out, which the first time I got my surgery, I don't think I was doing all this stuff a month out. They really had changed the process with everything. They really want you to get on your feet and going and trying. But it's a struggle because it's especially for people like us, we want to do more. We want to get stronger and keep going, but we can't. You've got to follow that line of process. So the mental thing is definitely such a struggle, and that's part of the reason why I started this and I started reaching out to other ACL people, because I remember my first ACL surgery just feeling devastated, I just felt like I was a mess. Everything that you know and you think you can do, you appreciate it so much more. You're oh my god, simple things. You're watching people. I told someone the story the other day. I was watching somebody outside running, and I was just looking at them, admiring them, and they turned around and they think I was checking them out. I'm no, I'm admiring your run. You're so lucky. I was oh my god, I want to run it too. Whatever.
No, go ahead.
So it's definitely a struggle, but I think what's so great is that we're trying to be we're trying to be creative with it. You know what I mean? This is a process to grow, to become stronger of those areas that you may not have been as strong before.
Right. There was something I wanted to say, but now it's past me. I've definitely tried to dial it back more than I think I normally would, because I know how I am, and I'm very aggressive with things, and I want to do more. But once I was able to rotate on the bicycle, I feel that was a big turning point for me. A lot more mobility was happening, and it was still really painful, but I feel that process kind of helped stimulate blood or whatever it did to help the healing process go a little bit quicker.
I honestly can't agree more. I remember just being on the bike, and this is like probably like a week or two ago. I was literally just like, I couldn't make a full rotation, so he just literally put me on the bike and you rock back and forth.
Yeah.
And then the bike is making the noises because it's not like, it's like you're not rotating, like you gotta press start, like and keep it going.
Right.
And then I finally got around, and I was like the happiest girl ever. I'm like, here, but same, it's still like struggle, it still hurts, it's not fully there yet. You're still feeling like, oh my god, like is it ever gonna get better? Like this is such a long process. I mean, this is like a 9-month process to a year to get fully back. I know, to get fully back to where you are. So it's really important to try and stick together and try different things. Try and be creative with your working out, improving all those things. I mean, I know personally I was able to start doing things that I wasn't doing before because I had more time. Like I actually didn't finish my website. Like I try to do things that I'm like, all right, well normally I'm running races and I'm kind of all over the place. I'm like, now that I'm sitting still, what can I do to keep myself going? So I feel like it's important.
Yeah, you definitely need to stay as positive as possible. I mean, listen, you're not going to be perfect, no one is, and you're definitely going to be upset. It's just kind of, if you keep telling yourself it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay, and it will be.
It has to be.
Yeah. There's professional athletes out there that go back and play football and play whatever other, soccer and all these sports. It's got to be okay.
I've read so many statistics on what happens to these people. So I always was like, I am such a strong person. How did I tear my ACL? I don't want to be like, oh my god, me, I'm so athletic. But really, how? But you see so many of these high up there athletes who train probably harder than me, do more lateral training. They're tearing their ACLs also. So this is such a common thing. And what I'm seeing is that, a lot of the statistics for the people who are really head into it, they came back and had their best seasons. It was their best seasons they came back for, or they came back stronger, full body. So if you take this, it's actually, it's that quote, injury becomes opportunity, and you're like, yeah. But you can make an opportunity out of it.
This is the thing, I remember now what I was going to say is that everyone always says oh, there's so many people that have ACL injuries and you're going to be fine, but I have to tell you, this is probably the hardest thing ever, that I've ever had to probably deal with. And I've had, I was saying I had another surgery that was 10 million times more complicated. I'm not exaggerating, there's only 3 surgeons in the US that even did the surgery.
Wow.
Very complicated, could have been paralyzed. This recovery has been so much worse. So, yeah, I mean, you're allowed to be upset and you're allowed to know that it's gonna suck, but it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, so it's definitely, I feel like it's very common. I mean, there's so many people that I had my brace out and they see my scar and they're like, oh, ACL surgery, me too, what year? So it's like you're kind of we were just talking about how we were talking to the Instagram people, the ACL club, and it's we're literally in the club because that's literally what's happening. Oh, you win. Oh, which one did you use? Oh, I used that. Oh, okay. But it's interesting to see all the people going through it and what they went through and literally saying the same thing and stuff. It really is a test to everything. I really do believe that everything happens for a reason though. So as much as I'm oh my god, this is another tear, and you're probably oh my god, I just had that other surgery before this. I feel like you do.
I mean, I'm not necessarily sure what the reasoning is yet, but
we'll get there.
I mean, we met.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
One of the reasons.
Yeah. For me, it's definitely opened up some doors with things like that, and people being oh wow, again, people have been messaging me thank you for showing me that you're still working out while you're hurt. Oh my god, I was sitting in bed and I was upset and whatever, and I'm all right, you know what, maybe this is why.
Yeah, I've actually had so many people reach out saying, oh my god, I injured myself doing this, how are you, what do you think? And I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I can tell you what I've been doing.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to ask, what are there any
fun,
creative exercises that you have been doing?
Oh, personally?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I mean, I've been trying to I was doing funny stuff with the crutches because I had it with the crutches. I was freaking over it, trying to crutch around. It's just think about this, and you had the same thing probably. I live by myself, right? So I'm going to try and eat some food.
Oh my gosh.
But I literally cannot walk, so you have to try and figure out how to use a crutch. Take something out of the fridge, somehow, I mean, it was just I was just whatever. I'm so I'm just gonna do some fun stuff. I probably did a little bit more than I should have, but I also, I know my body and know that like I was like a pretty high athlete with Ninja, so I did a lot of I did hanging stuff with the crutches, flipping around. I did ab workouts with the crutches.
Yes.
I also did a lot of just, I didn't really show a lot of this, but just you can still chest press and bicep curl on one leg. The other thing that I learned that was really important is actually strengthening your other leg and still standing on it. It's called the crossover effect. So basically what happens is that your body wants to be equal on both sides. So if you keep strengthening this leg, yeah, you're gonna think it's gonna look weird because it's gonna look stronger. But this leg is actually, it's healing, it's strengthening faster because I
read an article about that like I didn't know it was called that. The crossover.
I think that's what my therapist had said, and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I always was thinking I don't want this leg to be bigger than this. I don't know.
No, I read something about that too. So I was doing single leg press on the machines.
Yeah.
You can use all of those machines too, the sitting machines for the upper body for sure. That's easy. And then as soon as I was able to go in the pool, I started doing some stuff in the pool. I was doing some jumping on the good leg inside the pool. I was trying to run in the pool a little bit just to get this leg to move, but
I've heard things about the pool stuff being good. But yeah, you can still work your entire body, especially your core. You want your core to stay strong. Other thing that her and I were talking about is nutrition. I mean, my first surgery, I was telling her, I was in college. I was drinking every single day. I'm just gonna drink, eat McDonald's, whatever. I'm doing whatever I want. I have nothing going on right now. This has been completely opposite because it's not just about you staying lean, and obviously we're fit, so we have a certain way we want ABC our body.
Right.
But it's also anti-inflammatory properties of the foods that you're eating. It's gonna actually help the healing process. So kind of sitting back and being all right, I'm gonna stay eating clean.
Yeah. Are you eating any meats, or is it primarily?
No, I eat meat and stuff like that, but I went online, I researched all the stuff that you can eat for anti-inflammatory stuff. Believe it or not, saying pineapple, so I was eating a lot of pineapple for a little bit. Yeah, it's all sorts of stuff. Taking different supplements that I ordered that's supposed to help with your ligaments and stuff like that. But yeah, going back real quick to your body, I feel that's also a very tough part mentally, especially for me. People are always you look great, you look great, you look great, blah, blah. All right, great. I feel I look great sometimes, but because of the surgery, I mean, I have atrophied so much in my leg, and I feel I don't feel I look great, and it's tough for people how do you feel that way? I'm I don't. It really is almost like a body dysmorphia type thing. I feel that can kind of come with the surgery because you're looking at your body and you're but you it's just not where you used to be. So
I definitely had abs before the surgery, and I don't really see them anymore. I mean, listen, everyone else is oh, you look great because you look great for considering you're having surgery, or you look great just because we do, as far as the normal human, we're definitely active people, so we have muscle, we look in shape, even though it's not our standard of where we want to be.
Yeah, but it's definitely it definitely can get, and just know that's normal. And that's normal with anything, honestly, especially with the body stuff. People after I did fitness competitions and my body went just back to normal again. Normal to other people was great. I'm no, I'm not leaving. I'm not big out where has it been? But you have to learn the process is okay, and it's supposed to be that. I mean, you will lose a lot of your muscle, but it will come back. These things do come back. But just know that's normal, so that's really interesting thing to go. But yeah, definitely your foods, making sure that you're good with that. And yeah, I mean, just trying to get creative and try and keep positive during this entire process. So many people have been through this. Also realize you're not alone. Ask for help. I hate asking for help. I'm the most stubborn person ever. I don't want anyone even picking something up for me.
Yeah, it's so true. I had some friends come over and what can we do for you? What can we do for you? I'm I feel so bad. Can you? I couldn't even like you said, bring a cup of water over to the table to sit with them.
Or let's think about grocery shopping. Let's think about that. How do you do that?
Delivery.
You have to. You have to do delivery. There's no way. How will you physically go in the store? You're gonna crutch, and then once you're better and you're off one crutch, to push the cart around and to grab the stuff and then bring it to the car, it's things that you would never think of. You're oh my god, I literally.
Are you driving? Are you able to drive now?
So they actually told me my guy's very conservative. He didn't want me to drive for 6 weeks, but I own my own business. I live by myself. My family is not around.
Right.
I'm that I have to drive. I literally was driving, like a couple days later, I was braking with my left foot, driving with my right foot. I mean, probably like not what you should be doing.
Not the most safe.
Definitely not safe, but I had to make it work. I did not drive for long periods of time though, and I still am like,
Right, like you did like the short little trips that you had.
Yeah, like I did like, I did like Connecticut like this weekend, but like that's like now weeks out, but driving definitely was tough. Were you driving?
No, I didn't drive. I mean, I live in New York, so I don't have to drive, but I'm able to now, I guess. Yeah.
You said walking. Like not like you were saying you Ubered a lot, right?
Oh, I did Uber. I mean, I live far away from the train, A, and B, like just the stairs and manipulating around people, it's just such a disaster. So I took Uber a little bit too much.
People definitely if you have your brace on, they will recognize that there's something wrong, but they're not, they're
people are on their cell phones, and now it's actually funny, like I realize now, like especially living in New York, like I used to cross whenever I felt like it, like not waiting for a light. Now I'm like, I wait for that light because I'm still not fast and I like don't trust myself. I don't trust that like a biker is gonna come zipping around the corner, because it does happen, and I'm not stable. I'm stable, but not my normal stable. So I'm being extra cautious for sure.
Yeah. So basically, so like we said, I'm like a little over a month, just like 3 months out. The process is gonna keep continuing. We're gonna get stronger, working on now we're gonna probably start building up to like a lot of the athletic, moves, and slowly get back to where we are. But it's definitely like a process. But know that you're not alone. Know that you can reach out to either of us and ask if you need help with anything. You're not alone. Hopefully, I'm sure some people are gonna relate to what we were saying.
Oh, for sure.
So it's gonna be really interesting. But yeah, you stay tuned. We're gonna do some workouts. Gonna show some creative workouts with what we can do, which is not that much, but you can have fun with your stuff, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah.